What's up, guys? It's your girl Samar, and I'm just sitting here, in Chat GPT, and sometimes I like to pose hypothetical questions, right? Because I told you guys that I just see things differently, and apparently I'm not the only one, right? Chat GPT seems to think like me too. I'm going to read for y'all a few questions that I asked Chat GPT. Now, and just so you know, I never asked Chat GPT these before I've done some of my episodes, okay? I just see it. But I wanted Chat GPT to kind of like back up what I've been saying, all right? So I just asked it the questions, right? And what do you know? It's going to share the answers in which I've been sharing. So check this out. So you too can use this to go ahead and back up some of our research, guys. You know what I mean? Or anything you're finding on your own. But check this out. I asked ChatGPT, who designed the pyramid-shaped oil wells in America? The pyramid-shaped oil wells in America are generally associated with the work of George H. Bissell, one of the key figures in the early American oil industry. While Bissell himself did not design the pyramid-shaped oil wells directly, he is credited with playing a significant role in the development and commercialization of petroleum extraction methods. However, the pyramid-shaped oil well structures you're referring to might be the ones used for a specific oil rig or derrick designs, seen in some places during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. These designs were typically part of the oil drilling rigs, where the pyramid shapes offered both structural support and practical stability. It's also possible that such a design was used by various engineers and companies as oil extraction technologies evolved, but a singular individual or company specifically known for pyramid-shaped oil well designs isn't well documented in mainstream sources. Now, you would think that there would be somebody that holds a patent to that, right? So we should very well know who made these pyramid-shaped oil rigs. And you'll see them, go to the community page. I placed an article in there with Pyramid Oil, the logo of the company, and we can link this to the back of the dollar, guys. Very easily. You see the pyramid and you'll see the eye. That is the gusher. That is the well. The Hebrew word well and eye translate to the same thing, guys. It's a running well. That's what a gusher is. That's what the Gihon was. It flowed profusely, guys. And so I say to myself, I've been telling you guys that when I see this civil war, right, I feel like it's one and the same, guys. So I say to ChatGPT, if the Civil War and the ancient northern and southern kingdom split were the same war, who would be King David in the Civil War, right? Now, they're going to say this right here to begin with. If we imagine the Civil War as analogous to the biblical split between the northern and southern kingdoms of Israel and Judah after the reign of King Solomon, this is where they tell a lie, because we've already pinpointed. So ChatGPT don't know no better. We've already pinpointed the point in which there was a split with Israel, and it actually happened before Solomon, guys. We see Shimei say, we don't have anything to do with David, that the house of Israel needs to go to their tents. So there's this thing where they want to try to act like it didn't happen with David, but we know better. All right, so I'm going to disregard them saying this next part because they're going to say it's after the reign of King Solomon. It really isn't, but it says from someone who could serve as a unifying or symbolic leader for the Union or the Confederacy, right? The Union would have been the North, right? So there, and then the Confederacy would have been the South, right? They're going to give you Abraham Lincoln as a potential figure for the Northern Kingdom, right? But scroll down, because funny enough, who they gonna give us, guys, for this one? Well, didn't I do an episode already? Concerning Jefferson Davis, guys? The beloved? Because Davis, remember I showed you guys in that episode, means a son of David. The Confederacy episodes, guys. Go back and look at those episodes. I already linked Jefferson Davis, and his right-hand man was a man with the last name Benjamin, son of the right hand. So, guys, I'm not the only one making this connection that if this was won in the same war, that Jefferson Davis of the Confederacy, which we know that Hebron means Confederacy, and David is crowned in Hebron, and that Chevron, all of these words translate to Confederacy, and they are also all linked to the oil. Okay, guys, so we're not the only ones making this connection. It says for the Confederacy, there isn't a direct counterpart to David. However, figures like Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, might be considered the closest counterpart. Though Davis would more closely represent someone like King Saul in the biblical story, leading a divided kingdom with a focus on maintaining the South's autonomy and way of life. See, they just have it wrong right here as putting this as King Saul wanting to do this. It had already begun with David, guys, because Saul was actually a Benjamite. So we know that David was down in the South, which Benjamin was too. Don't get me wrong, but this power tripping stuff with these taking over the Gihon and Joash going and swimming through it to gain control of that town, Saul wasn't doing that. That was David doing that. So we are linking it to David, guys. You know, they want to say that it's going to be most closely linked to Lincoln, but I beg to differ. I beg to compare it to this right here, due to this, you know, and the oil grabs, you know. So let's keep going. All right, and I want to get to this one because I thought this one was a good one too. If the tunnel Hezekiah of Judah built to contain the Gihon Springs was a tunnel in America, what tunnel would it be? All right, so they're going to tell you, right? They're going to give you the aqueducts, right? Because they, you know, the Hoover Dam, all of these things, right? Because they want you to associate it with water, right? And then I catch on to that, right? And I say, oh, well, wait a minute. No, we don't want to talk about it as water. So I make a correction, right? So let's go to it. If the tunnel Hezekiah built to contain the Gihon Springs, and this spring was oil instead of water, what tunnel in America would it be? Guys, y'all ready for this? Samar be hitting it out the park. Check this out. If the tunnel of Hezekiah, which was built to divert the Gihon Springs water into Jerusalem to protect it from siege, were to be repurposed to contain oil instead of water, it would be comparable to one of the large oil pipelines or oil transport tunnels in the United States. Let's keep going. We're right here. These tunnels or pipelines are designed to transport and protect vital oil resources, similar to how Hezekiah's tunnel was meant to protect and secure water resources for the city. One possible comparison in America would be the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System, called TAPS. Now here's one we never talked about, right guys? Let's see why they say this. Why the Trans-Alaska Pipeline? Trans-Alaska Pipeline. This pipeline runs over 800 miles from the oil fields at Prudhoe Bay to the port of Valdez, transporting oil safely across difficult terrain. Like Hezekiah's tunnel, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline was designed to move a critical resource, in this case oil, and protect it from potential disruption. Engineering feat. Both the tunnel and the pipeline are engineering marvels built to ensure the reliable flow of a crucial resource under challenging conditions. If Hezekiah's tunnel were repurposed to contain oil, it would be part of an underground system for transporting oil, similar to the Keystone XL pipeline or other underground oil pipelines that ensure the secure movement of oil resources across vast distances. What did they say? The Keystone XL pipeline is brought into this, right? So they're gonna give us a few, right? They're gonna say it was a amazing engineering feat, right? But they're gonna also say something about the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. We're gonna have to look into this one, guys. I bring in Personally, the Keystone XL pipeline for obvious reasons. The Keystone. I'm guessing that the Trans-Alaska has to be connected to the Keystone XL. But either way, your girl got it right down here. Keystone XL pipeline. They're going to say it's going to be one similar, but that it definitely transports oil. What I say, guys, you ain't even going to see pictures of this thing being built. I should ask ChatGPT, why are there no pictures of this thing being built? Let's see what it says. I mean, it's not really going to tell me probably, but just for the purposes of entertaining ourselves right now, let's see. Let's see. They got a lot here. The absence of widespread pictures of the Keystone Pipeline being built can be attributed to several factors. Limited media access. Construction of large infrastructure projects like pipelines often has limited media access due to security concerns. Private and restricted property. The Keystone Pipeline construction occurred across large stretches of private land, much of which required permission from landowners who getting paid from this. You better believe it. Some areas might have had restrictions on photography. Let's see, control public relations. Pipeline companies often control the narrative surrounding major projects like the Keystone Pipeline. They may release select images or videos to the public, but withhold others to maintain a positive image. I wonder what images would they release that would, get in the way of them maintaining a positive image, huh? Environmental concerns and protests. The Keystone XL pipeline has faced significant opposition and protests due to environmental and indigenous rights issues. Activists have often focused on the negative environmental impacts, like what they're supposed to do. Focus on the positive. Doesn't seem to be any positive ones. So they'll focus on the negative environmental impacts of the project. And the construction process itself may have been deliberately kept out of the public eye, right? Focus on completed projects. More often, public attention is drawn to finished projects, with images or videos released after the construction is complete. That's BS. We found a lot of stuff where, like, through the years, you can see them wanting to take pride in it. Like when they rebuilt the towers, you're going to see pictures of that. Whenever they do these rebuilding processes, they want to get the glory for it. So that's BS. Okay, we're not here for that. But anyway, like I said, if it was going to be a structure, right? We asked the great questions here to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is backing up my research. It's being backed up, guys. I mean, let's ask ChatGPT if the structure that what was it that Solomon built as the Milo was an American structure, what would it be? Let's go down and see. If we were to compare the Milo, the ancient structure built by King Solomon in Jerusalem, often associated with a fortification or retaining wall, to a similar American structure, we would draw parallels with major earthworks or fortifications that were intended for both defensive and symbolic purposes. One likely comparison in America would be the Great Wall of Philadelphia, also called Fort Mifflin, or more broadly, the fortifications built during the colonial American periods. Here's why: fortification and defensive walls. The Milo was part of a defensive structure possibly designed to strengthen Jerusalem's position by fortifying key sections of the city. Similarly, Fort Mifflin was a key defensive site during the American Revolutionary War. All right, let's keep going. Symbolic and strategic importance. The Milo, located in Jerusalem near the Temple Mount, held both symbolic strategic value, much like American military forts. They're going to tell you Fort Dearborn in San Francisco, possibly because they have done some expansions to the fortifications there. So they're going to tell you there's no... Hey, let's ask if Ephraim was a place in America, where would it be? Let's put the hill countries. The hill country of Ephraim. Let's do that. Let's ask it. Come on, guys. Uh-oh. The hill country of Ephraim in ancient Israel, mentioned frequently in the Bible, was a region of elevated mountainous terrain located in the central part of the land of Israel. It was known for its fertile land and its role in the settlement of the tribe of Ephraim. If we were to draw a parallel to a region in the United States, the Appalachian Mountains of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the eastern U.S. would be a reasonable comparison. A mountainous terrain, fertile land. I think they're confused, though, given the fact that they're looking for the land to still be fertile. If these people are over-resourcing it, I wonder if we could ask it that. If ancient hill countries resource. If ancient hill country of Ephraim were a place that was oil-rich and then over-resourced for 100 years, where in America would it be? Right, let's put on our thinking caps, because I think ChatGPT is thinking in terms of it being fertile land, right? It says so right there. Because it was once fertile land. If we imagine the hill country of Ephraim as a region that was historically oil-rich and then over-resourced for 100 years, a good comparison in the United States would likely be the Permian Basin in West Texas and eastern New Mexico. The Permian Basin is one of the largest and most productive oil fields in the world, with substantial oil and natural gas reserves. Like the hypothetical scenario where the hill country of Ephraim is oil-rich, the Permian Basin has been a major source of energy wealth for the U.S. for many decades. Overexploitation. Over the course of 20th and 21st centuries, the Permian Basin has experienced significant extraction and over-resourcing, leading to concerns about the long-term sustainability of oil resources. This mirrors the idea of a region being over-resourced over a long period, similar to how the resources of a biblical region might be exhausted through intensive use. Central role in economy. The Permian Basin, like the hill country of Ephraim, has played a vital role in the broader economy and energy landscape of its region. The economic and geopolitical importance of oil from the Permian Basin mirrors the role that the hill country of Ephraim might have played in the broader context of ancient Israel, with its agricultural wealth and cultural influence. In short, the Permian Basin serves as a strong analogy to the hill country of Ephraim, as it was rich and a valuable resource, has been heavily exploited over a long period, and plays a central role in the economy of its regions. Oh my goodness, guys. Do y'all see that? Who told y'all that the Ogallala aquifer was the dew from Joseph's lineage, guys? From the promise to Joseph. Who told you? Samar told you this months ago. Thank you, ChatGPT. Look at this. This is the last question I'm going to ask it, guys. If an American aquifer were the location of Joseph's dew from heaven, which aquifer would it be? If we were to associate Joseph's dew from heaven, a biblical symbol of abundant blessing, prosperity, and divine favor from the blessings given to Joseph in Genesis, with an American aquifer, the most fitting comparison might be the Ogallala Aquifer. Here's why. The Ogallala Aquifer, one of the largest underground water sources in the world, spans across parts of 8 states in the Great Plains. Like Joseph's blessings, which symbolize an abundant and life-sustaining resource, the Ogallala Aquifer provides water that can sustain agriculture, communities, and industries in the region. It's a crucial resource for farming, much like Joseph's abundance provided prosperity to the land of Israel. Look at that, guys. Who told you it was the Ogallala? I'm sorry, I can't help myself. If the everlasting hills given to Joseph in the promised land were hills in America, where would they be? Let's just do it, guys, real quick. This is it. If we were to associate the everlasting hills given to Joseph in the promised land with hills in America, a fitting comparison might be the Rocky Mountains. Here's why. What did I say, guys? The Colorado Rockies. Enduring and majestic, the everlasting hills symbolize stability, permanence, and abundance. The Rocky Mountains span from northern Canada to New Mexico, are ancient, massive, and enduring mountains that have stood the test of time, much like the symbolism of the everlasting hills in the biblical context. They are a dominant feature in the western U.S. and represent strength and longevity, fertility and abundance. The everlasting hills were also associated with prosperity, as they provide rich lands for agriculture and herding. The Rocky Mountains and their foothills in Colorado, Wyoming, and other surrounding areas are not only beautiful and enduring, but also rich in natural resources. What did I say? What did I say, guys? Including fertile valleys that have supported agriculture. Those fertile valleys, right, guys? Those 7 valleys. It's a symbol of God's blessing. Just as the hills given to Joseph in the promised land were a symbol of divine blessing and favor, the Rocky Mountains have also often been viewed as a symbol of natural grandeur and resource abundance in American culture. Thus, the Rocky Mountains are a fitting American equivalent for the everlasting hills promised to Joseph, representing enduring strength, resourcefulness, and a land full of blessings. Guys, I didn't do this episode today as a replacement for a lesson, guys. I just wanted to show you that all my research is pointing in the right directions, guys. These questions I'm posing to ChatGPT, guys, is, as far as I'm concerned, validating a lot of my research. And I'm actually having some fun with this thing, learning how to make this work for me, and using it to test some of my theories. You get what I'm saying? In my research, you can be certain, guys, that the research is panning out, guys. based off of these questions. We've already come to these conclusions. So thank you, GPT, for validating it. And thank you guys for tuning in. There's a lot more to come. I'll give a lot of shout outs, guys. A lot of shout outs to my followers who are coming here every week and tuning in to see what we got cooking here. What's being dug on this week? What research are we proving? You know what I mean? Last week I shared that, listen, a lot of people are coming to the Judah conclusion, guys. I want to give a shout out to Children of the Four Corners. He put out a video, guys. I shared it in the community page. Our research was tying together, guys. More people are seeing this Judah thing, guys, for exactly what it is. And I'm seeing this war as one and the same. And I'm seeing other things, guys, like these pyramids as these oil rigs. This dew from heaven as this Ogallala aquifer. And these everlasting hills as these Rocky Mountains. Much love, guys. It's your girl, Samara. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Much love to anybody in Cali, as a matter of fact. That's where my son is. He's been 4 miles away from this fire, guys. And mama ain't playing, guys. Go to the community page and look at that picture I put up. Think about that eclipse that took place, guys. Those areas in California are under that eclipsed area, as is that frozen area. Mama ain't playing. Not in the least bit. See you guys next week. Take care.